So if you go back and you look at my older videos, I have stressed time and time again that it's gonna take a lot of patience and a lot of time for Phil Spencer to turn around the awful launch that was the Xbox One. And I've said it takes years to build good AAA games. You can't just walk in, throw down money at your studios and say, give me a great game next year. It takes time. For example, Witcher 3 developed in 3.5 years. GTA 5 took 5 years. Metal Gear Solid between 4 to 5 years. Halo 5, 3 years. Last of Us, 3.5 years. So you can kind of see a trend here. You can expect good, solid AAA games to take anywhere between 3 to 5 years to make. Some may take a little bit longer, some may take a little bit shorter, but I would say on average, good 4 to 5 years. And so my point is, when a good AAA game can be made 4 to 5 years before it makes its way to store shelves, Phil Spencer has now been in charge of Xbox for over 4 years. And since he took over ownership, Phil has claimed that he hears the concerns of gamers. He's talked for years about the need for a strong first-party lineup. He's talked for years about moving the discussion back to gaming because at the launch, it wasn't focused on gaming. So again, to recap, Phil Spencer's been in charge of Xbox for over 4 years, and it takes 4 to 5 years to make a good, solid AAA game. Time's up. It's time to now start showing what you've been talking about. Is it all talk, or are you going to walk the walk? And that's why I believe Microsoft should, and I emphasize the word should, have a lot of new games and new IPs to show off on Xbox. And not just the ones that we always expect, like Halo and Forza and, you know, some of the other ones that have been brought up in past E3. I'm talking about brand new games. I'm not talking about showing off third-party titles that you have the marketing rights to or timed console exclusive titles. Microsoft has had plenty of time to start firing off on all cylinders. Sure, they had a rough start, but they've also been in the business for almost 2 decades in the gaming industry. So there's really no excuse for not knowing how to fix the first-party dilemma. You've been here before. Now, I'm aware that some people are actually trying to lower expectations moving into E3. Phil Spencer even seemed to lower expectations, tweeting out the other day that it's going to take a lot more time for games to come. Others are saying Phil was, in charge of Xbox for 4 years is like the title, but he wasn't really in charge and he had to answer to this guy who was causing all kinds of issues and there was a structuring problem, like yada, yada, yada. Nobody cares about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about the corporate shenanigans that go around behind the scenes. That sounds like excuses to me, and I really don't buy it. So you claim that because Xbox was having to undergo this renovation to turn around the awful launch, that they had to put games on the back burner? Like, in what universe does that even make sense? Now, I do think that Phil and the team have done a great job when it comes to features, services like Game Pass, backwards compatibility. They have knocked that out of the park, and that is extremely consumer friendly. They've been able to quench the narrative of the weak box and the resolution when it comes to the Xbox One X. Like, they've been able to avoid that narrative, which was the narrative for the last few years. But don't sit here and insult my intelligence by telling me that Phil was given the funds and resources to go develop this brand new $500 piece of hardware to revamp the entire operating system and add all these nice features, but somehow didn't have the forethought or forgot to keep investing in games. I mean, some people act like game studios had to stop work on games to go help Microsoft develop the hardware or help code backwards compatibility, as if that's the job of a game studio. That takes some pretty insane mental gymnastics to make yourself believe in such utter nonsense. Absolutely nothing about the new console changed the way games are developed. HDR didn't start with the X. 4K assets didn't start with the X. There's no excuses for there not to be a lot of games showing up this year at E3. Every year we hear, wait till E3. Every year we hear, this will be the biggest E3 ever. And sure enough, Microsoft has already made that statement. And I hope they're right. I hope it's not just PRBS, because I want them to deliver, because the time's up. It's time to deliver. If we walk away from E3 disappointed this year, maybe Phil isn't the right guy for the job. But I'm hoping he is, because I want to see Xbox succeed. Post your thoughts below. Do you agree with me that Phil has been in charge long enough to where we should now be seeing if he's going to put up or shut up? Or do you think he still needs more time? That does it for me, the Red Dragon. Let me know how you think E3 is going to go for Xbox. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.